Hey, I'm Danielle, and today we are talking about career goals. I am so excited to talk about this topic. I get really excited whenever it's that time of the year that I'm about to set new goals. Right now it is December, but whether it's about to be January 1st for you, or it's around your birthday, or whenever in the year it is, if you're thinking about goals, that's great. But while I'm the type of person that loves to think about what I want to achieve or create, I still bump up against this question of like, what do I actually want? And I think for most people, it is challenging to actually break down and define that and figure out what you're actually going for and if it's the right thing and what you truly want. So we are gonna talk through all of those details of how to really figure that out. And as I sat down a few minutes ago and started thinking through what I actually do when I'm creating goals for the upcoming year, or even what I wish I did more of, not to sound too cheesy, but it did come out to 5 specific steps, so I will share those. But the fact of the matter is, if you do these steps at some level, you are really gonna set yourself up for success even before you start working towards that goal specifically. And since we're specifically talking about career goals, I started to think for myself and for the people I know and the people around me, what they're actually trying to get at when they are going for career goals. And so I started to really think about this question of like, what is your motive? So the first step is actually to determine your motive. And to make it easy, I realized there's kind of 3 main categories of what you're trying to do when you're setting a career goal, and this has rang true for each one of my personal career goals. So ask yourself, are you really looking for fulfillment, achievement, or impact? Why are you setting a goal in the first place? Is it for fulfillment? Is it that you just want to be happier in your work life? You want your day-to-day to be more enjoyable because you're spending more time on the things that you do enjoy rather than the things that you don't. This could look like hiring someone to delegate to. This could look like getting a new job. This could look like pivoting in your business or even starting your own business, doing something that you enjoy more than your day job. Is it really about achievement for you? Seeing what's possible, seeing what rank or number or level you can get to. This could be reaching a financial goal or getting promoted to a new title or getting on the Forbes 30 under 30. Third piece is maybe it's really about impact for you. You're truly thinking about the influence that you want to have on others just purely because you want to make a difference. And this could really be about having a certain impact on your clients or a certain number of clients. Are you really focused on the making a difference piece of the puzzle? And even though the last one sounds the most warm and fuzzy, you want to pick the one that drives you, because at the end of the day, it's probably going to spill into 1 or 2 of the other categories anyways, because if you know that achievement is what really drives you forward and you're picking this goal of getting a certain number of clients, for example, maybe you're already doing work that fulfills you, and so you're going to be doing more of what you enjoy, and maybe you are making an impact on those clients, so it's also going to spill into impact. It's not necessarily true, but probably 9 times out of 10, if you're really in an area of interest for you, in an industry that's exciting to you, or doing work that you think is a fit for your skills and your strengths, you're probably going to bump up against multiple of these motives. But at the end of the day, which one really drives you? Is it fulfillment, achievement, or impact? And once you've figured out which one of those is like closest to your core right now, then the second step is to brainstorm options. This is really about taking a piece of paper, putting down any sort of filter you have, and writing down anything and everything that comes to mind. You don't want to stop yourself too soon, because the best way to get to good ideas is to come up with all kinds of ideas, even if they're bad. So get down all the ideas that pop into your mind. Don't hold back. Just write down anything that pops into your brain about what you might want to achieve in the upcoming year in your career. And I honestly do find it really helpful to grab pen and paper, because you can't erase pen, and there's something special that happens when you're scribbling versus typing. I'm definitely a pen to paper kind of gal, and you might not be, but I do think it's worth a try to just actually like scribble it all out, even if you can barely read your own handwriting or you prefer typing. Just give it a go, because I promise it causes your brain to think just a little bit differently. And again, no filter. You could even set a timer for 5 to 10 minutes and just let anything out, keep that pen moving and see what pops up. And whenever I do something like this and I'm scribbling it all out, brainstorming for 5 or 10 minutes and I have all the ideas right there, it's usually pretty obvious to me which couple of goals really stand out. I kind of feel like there's a very specific feeling that you notice when you've picked the right goal. It's almost like this excitement, but like kind of a fear. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you are a little bit scared to name that goal because it seems outside of your comfort zone, which is kind of the whole point. But at the same time, like you're excited enough about it and it gives you like this almost expansive feeling because it's enough of a match for you that it catches your attention. And I used the words gut level purposefully because if you deliberate for like 20 minutes about which is the best one or which is the most worthy one, you're probably gonna pick the wrong thing. Honestly, scan through and at that gut level, whichever one like makes you light up, but also you're a little bit scared, that is the one that you should pick, at least to start with as you're building out your goals. And the third step, I just said it, is to build it out. I've got something very specific to say about this part. So I've thought a lot about when goals should be flexible versus like when you should really stick to them, not change them. And I think I've come to some conclusions about this. A lot of times we want to change our goals because we're afraid that we won't reach them, or we feel like they're not a fit anymore, or we're kind of like shying away from them, or we haven't really been working on them, so we want to change them. And most of those reasons are not very good reasons. The goal of a goal, the whole point of a goal is to help you grow in the direction that you want to grow. And if you pick a goal that is so far out of your comfort zone that you're growing in that direction, but like at the end of that year or whatever, you don't reach it, that is still a success in my mind because you never would have gotten to that point, closer to that goal, if it weren't for that goal. Obviously, you don't want to make it so out of reach that it's discouraging, but also you can manage that discouragement. You can say, this goal is created to help me grow as a person, to help me build these certain skills, to take me out of my comfort zone. Understand that motive, remember? Like, even if your goal is fulfillment based, at the end of the day, you're still going to grow as a person if you're choosing the right type of goals, because if part of that is moving to a new job that's more in line with your skills and your interests, you're gonna have to build new capabilities in order to go through that interview process and to seek out different jobs that are a fit for you and all of that. Networking, that all seems like it's probably out of your comfort zone, and that's a great thing. And so just remember that the point of this is to help you grow. With all that said, there are very few occasions in which I think that you should change your main goal within a year. If you're really taking the time to brainstorm this out in the way that we're talking about right now, once you pick something, stick with it for the year, and even if you make just some progress on it, you're doing good work. This is why I say that I think that your main goal should really be focused on the result that you want to create. Instead of saying practice public speaking every day, maybe your actual results focused goal is to give a TED Talk or a TEDx talk. This is just a random example. But then sort of the subtasks under that are going to be like have a conversation with a new person every day and this, that, and the other thing, and all these different more habitual task-focused steps that are gonna help you get to that result. This is what works for me, is picking that results-focused piece. Like another example would be get a pay raise. The things that you could do to get to that would be more of like subtasks and things you wanna check off underneath are gonna be like read blank book on negotiation and take on blank project that I've never done before, you know? And the point here is that your goal is kind of permanent for the year, but the ways that you get there can be flexible. So maybe you start by saying, talk to a new person each day, and you're like, that isn't really helping me with public speaking. What I need to do is go to Toastmasters once a week. And so you end up signing up for that. What you really want is that result. And if you go this way or that way or this way and do any of these little tasks to get there, it almost doesn't really matter which route you take as long as you get to the goal that you want and grow along the way. So I think it's important to kind of be permanent for the year and the goal that you want, choose carefully, stick to it, and then allow yourself to kind of take a flexible approach with the kinds of tasks and habits that you use in order to get yourself there. that's my 2 cents on it. So to be clear, take that drafted goal that you put on your brainstorm list, pull it out, think about what result you want to create, you know, play with the wording a little bit, name what it is, the thing that you want to stick to as soon as you write it down in your journal, then maybe draft some of those subtasks of the different routes that you could take to get there and kind of narrow it down to maybe like 4 or 5 key things that are gonna help you to reach that result. Step number 4 is to visualize it. And I say this not because I think that a red Ferrari is gonna show up at your door if you're picturing it in your head, but rather it's important to know what success looks like. So even if you name this crystal clear goal, if you're imagining in your head what it looks like, what it feels like when you get there, you're going to have a much clearer idea and feeling about the direction that you're going and where that finish line truly is. So pick a method that works for you, whether it's journaling or like meditating on it, or even talking about it with a friend and kind of describing it out loud. Any of these methods can totally work for helping you visualize what success truly looks like and where you're actually trying to go in your words specifically. And step number 5 for creating this career goal is to put it in a good spot. So I use a bullet journal. I've been using one for years, and it's kind of like a build your own sort of calendar type of thing, but it also has my goals in it. And I really like this because I can kind of doodle it out any way that I want. I can put it in pretty colors, you know, whatever floats your boat. But at the end of the day, you want to put this in a spot that you're checking, that you can see regularly, and that matters to you. Because if you're putting it on a scrap of paper that ends up crumpled in your drawer, what does that say about your goals? But anyways, pick this spot that you know you're going to go to again and again. You can check in regularly. I definitely suggest on a weekly basis, and I don't do it as much as weekly, but I try my best to do it very regularly and consistently check in on where I'm at and if I'm headed in the right direction. But you want to put that goal in a good spot. So again, if you are figuring out your career goals for the next year or so, what you really want to do is determine your motive, brainstorm options, build it out, visualize it, and put it in a good spot. This is so much fun. I love talking about goals. Can you tell? Anyways, please comment some details below about what you're looking to create in your career in the next year. No pressure, just some little details. I would love to hear it, and we will leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like these types of topics, if you love talking about goals, definitely click the like button so that I know what types of videos that you want to see in the future, and please subscribe so you get more videos from me popping up in your feed, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye! Why are you setting a goal in the first place? Is it for Why are you setting a goal in the first place? Is it for fulfillment, meaning, that's hard to say, for fulfillment. Honestly, scan through, and at that gut level, whichever one, like, I was gonna say makes your soul sing, but that sounds so incredibly cheesy. Why every time I say motive do I think of that Ariana Grande song, like the, what's your motive? Okay, I'm done.